Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name's Adam Mohammed Usman and I'd like to welcome you to the English news program on Somaliland National Television. Here to bring you the latest news, let's start with the stories making the headlines. Director of Higher Education responds to incorrect media-led allegations. Gaza conflict enters its third week. Director of Higher Education for the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, Abib Ahmed Ali, held a press conference at his office in the capital of Somalia, Hargeisa, where he refuted claims made in local media outlets, namely the Hubal newspaper, in regards to developmental achievements of the ministry. You're still tuned into the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for our international news in detail. Fighting on the Gaza Strip has raged throughout the week, and a group of medics from the Red Cross and the Palestinian Civil Defense came under fire as they were shelled as they approached a neighborhood close to the front line. Israeli Defense Forces later gave them permission to evacuate casualties.
The death toll in the enclave now stands at around 680 people since Operation Protective Edge began on July 8. 35 Israelis have also been killed. Witnesses have told us that there are injured people taking cover under a car, but they are shooting at us, shelling, and there's direct fire at the medics, so for now there's no way for us to go in the area, explained Ibrahim Abu Alkas, a volunteer with the Palestinian Red Crescent. Earlier, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights condemned the actions of both sides in the conflict and said an investigation would be launched into alleged violations.
The Ukrainian Prime Minister claims that there are signs that one of two Ukrainian fighter jets shot down on Wednesday were fired on by another aircraft. He said it seems the second jet was targeted by a portable rocket launcher.
And in an interview with some media outlets, he said it seems the second jet was targeted by a portable rocket launcher. Arseny Yatsenyuk told the media, "The situation is extremely complicated and critical. These Russia-led guerrillas just shot down two Ukrainian military fighter jets, and we started an investigation. And probably the first one was shot down with a man-pad portable rocket launcher, and another one allegedly was shot down with an air-to-air missile." Sergio Canton asked if that means that another plane fired an air-to-air missile. Yatsenyuk answered, "Absolutely, and this is definitely not a Ukrainian plane, and we will ask our Western partners to provide us with additional intelligence in support of pictures and footage."
The International Monetary Fund has cut its growth forecast for the United States for this year from what it said a month ago. It cited economic weakness in the early part of the year as the reason for trimming down its prediction from 2% to just 1.7%. US GDP contracted at a 2.9% annual pace between January and March, according to revised figures. It was dragged down by a weak housing market and a slower pace of restocking by businesses and lower exports. This was the sharpest decline in 5 years. Officials at the Federal Reserve have also lowered their forecast for US growth. They too acknowledged weakness at the beginning of the year but called it aberration. In the long term, the IMF also warned as US population ages, the economy will not be able to grow above 2% in the long term without significant reforms, including tax and immigration changes, more investment in infrastructure and job training. It also said there would need to be greater provision of childcare assistance to help lure more Americans into the workforce. That's all the news we have for you today. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, you can keep updated with us on somalilandntv.com or contact us on the email below. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.